Hi.
Daisy.
I'm Natalie. How are you?
Nice to meet you, Natalie.
Thank you.
Come on in. Can I get you anything?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. Wow. How are you? How was getting here?
It was okay. It was a bit busy on the train, but it was okay.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, why are you here today? Do you want to just give me a quick brief and then we'll get into the organisation and confidentiality?
Yeah, I just thought it would be a good idea to talk to someone about my current situation at the moment. So, my husband James is a drug addict, and I'd very much like for him to be clean and be able to start a family and a future. But I just don't know what that looks like. I feel very overwhelmed at the moment with our situation.
All right, no worries. Well, I work for Centrecare Catholic Services. As you know, I'm a case manager.
Okay.
And basically what that means is that I can facilitate referrals for a psychologist for you if you feel like you want to talk to someone a bit more in depth. But I can also organise, has James got a drug counsellor as well?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, and do you often go to those meetings with him?
Sometimes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, what we can organise is to kind of, as much as James's journey has a lot, it's about him. We do want to kind of make it about you as well, because we support a variety of people here at Centrecare, but we often it's a lot to do with abuse, homelessness, youth and child, but we have a lot involving families who are dealing with addiction, because it is something that's very difficult to deal with for a lot of the close family members involved, especially the person who's the main support in that role. And we want to make sure that there's support there for you as well. So if you want us to, we can organise the referral stages and stuff, and that's where confidentiality becomes very important as well. So with what we talk about today, it will be entirely confidential unless you would like me to disclose information for a psychologist or disclose information to anyone who in like the health profession, like the drug counsellor, in which case you and I will write up a disclosure plan, kind of confidentiality plan, so that you know that none of what we talk about will be disclosed to anyone at all. Like, it's not anything out of this room basically, unless I think you're going to commit a crime or unless I think that you are a harm to yourself or other people. Other than that, it's very much between you and I, and I'm here to help. And yeah, I'm here to listen basically.
Thank you.
So, alright, well, what would you say is the key problem with this situation?
I think just not knowing what life is going to look like for James and I. You know, he wants to get off the drugs, and I want him to get off the drugs, but I feel worried about that because I've really only known him on the drugs, so I'm scared about what that change will be for our relationship, and if he will still love me, or will I still love him, because I've only ever known him that way, but I do love him very much.
Yeah. How long have you guys been married?
More than 10 years.
Yeah, long time.
Yeah.
Long time to be supportive of someone in
Yeah.
that situation. Is he on like a methadone plan or anything like that?
Yeah, so for about the last year he has been on the methadone program. He will occasionally go out and get the hit, and I guess that's where my worry comes in, because you don't know what's in those street drugs.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of anxiety about that, thinking, will this take him over the edge? Will this be the one as well?
Yeah, no, and that's absolutely. Well, how have you coped with the feelings of coming second to James's addiction? Have you felt that has been his priority, I guess, over you in the last 10 years?
Yeah, I think that it's his hit. It's what he strives for every day. So yes, I would say that is first. But like I said, I want to have a future with him that doesn't involve the drugs.
Yeah, so you want more of a stable sort of homely,
Yes.
like going on to complete, like going to the second phase of your life where
Yeah.
he's not taking drugs, and you can
Yeah, a bit more settled. And
Yeah.
I'm 30 now, so I'm
Yeah.
thinking about having, or I would like to have children.
Yeah.
James is edging closer to 40, so there's a bit of a gap there.
Yeah.
So if we're going to do it, and I'm not sure how the drugs would affect becoming a parent.
Yeah.
So I have lots of worries based around that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You want to have a stable environment to bring
Yes.
children into, so that everything's sort of safe and
Yeah.
can be moving on into that
Mhm.
next phase of your life where there's not the stress of heroin coming before
Correct.
anything else.
Yes.
Absolutely. No. Well, that to me sounds like you're very patient, very supportive and very kind. I think that's an absolute, considering the time frame as well, an absolute testament of your love for James.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot to deal with that day in, day out, I can imagine.
Mm.
So how about we talk about something like quite happy, like when was the happiest time you've been with James? What do you think?
I think in the beginning, the first few years, and then, getting married, and, just those first few years that you be with someone and you fall in love, and the happiness that surrounds that. And then that time sort of felt like it wasn't a reality anymore, because the drug addiction came, I guess, more forefront to us.
Yeah.
And
so
that's when I realised that, he really was a full-blown addict.
Yeah, so kind of you went from being young lovebirds, I guess, and it was kind of a party lifestyle, and a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you kind of realised maybe things weren't quite as party lifestyle as they
Yes.
seemed. And it could have been something. It was a bit more difficult to deal with. I guess a bit more confronting to deal with.
Yeah, because there was that need from him for the drug.
Yeah, right. Well, your fear of the relationship changing is completely normal in this situation when it's been such a long time, and people do have that idea that people change when they're on drugs, and there is that fear that if people come off them they're going to be a different person. That's completely normal fear, but I think with the support that you've offered for so long, I think it's reasonable for you to feel concerned with James using heroin, but I also think that with the support and the love you show, I'm sure that James can see that too.
Yeah, I think so.
And alright, well here I'll just the pattern that I am seeing a lot is that you're focused a lot on James, and I think that in this situation it's obviously very hard to not. But I would like to know if you think that you focus a little more on James than you do on your own needs, and if you often maybe prioritise that more than yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, I think I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like I have to,
Yeah.
because I feel like I need to help him, and I feel like he's not in control.
Yeah. Well, is James looking at has he done any detoxing, or is that something that's in the forefront of his mind?
So he has had some failed attempts.
Yeah.
But he's looking to reattempt another sort of intense detox, which happens over a 3 or 4 day period. And I'm supportive of doing that.
Yeah.
But as I said, I'm scared of what clean James looks like, because I don't know what that looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think that the process of recovery is a long one, and I think that's something that you'll find when you talk to the drug counsellor and the people at the detox centres as well, is that often the journey continues long after the detox happens, and it's difficult to deal with the focus of needing to stay clean even after a detox, let alone when you're trying to do it on your own.
Yeah.
So being that support it can be extraordinarily tough. So
Yeah.
again, I want to just recognise again how well you've done,
Okay.
and how much of a good support system you have had for James. And now I would like us to focus on maybe some supports for you. Do you have many supports outside of, like, do you have family, or do you talk to anyone other than the drug counsellor about this?
Not really. I do have some family that I like to surround myself with when I need to, and maybe I need to do that a little bit more. But no, I don't really talk to a lot of people about our situation. I feel that I'm a bit private about it.
That's right. Okay. What do you think, if you were going to set any goals about dealing with this situation and how you are concerned about the future, how do you think you would set goals to eliminate that fear a little bit? Would it be talking to James about it a little more, to kind of clarify that you have needs that need to be met a little bit as well in this situation? Or would it be talking to family about it, or is that something that you don't want to talk to them about?
No, my family know the situation. I think that I probably should talk to James a little bit more. I think maybe James takes it for granted that I will just always be there and support him, and that is what I want to do, but at the same time I'm not sure that James realises how much his behaviour reflects on my life and getting up every day and going to work, and then sometimes coming home and finding him, so out of it. I don't like to see him that way, and probably the nervousness that I feel if he is to have a bad drug and I'll lose him.
So what I'm hearing is that you are a little bit reluctant to talk to James about it, just because there are those concerns that he's going to take things too far with the drugs, rather than take on board what it is that you need to, and then your commitment to being optimistic for him is potentially making it harder for you to feel optimistic about your situation, because you are so worried sometimes about coming home and feeling confronted. Okay. So if we were to acknowledge your needs in this situation, do you think I'm right in saying that potentially your needs are just to have a bit more focus on you in the relationship? Because, like, although James is going through a difficult and intense sort of time during this pre-detox and post-street heroin methadone sort of stage where he is going to be going into a heavy detox, I think it's important that maybe the needs of you are considered just as much in that, because it is such a difficult thing to be supportive, especially when it's been so long. So do you think I'm right in saying that that's maybe where we want to focus and what that main priority should be for us?
Yeah. I think in order to be able to support him better, but also have some time to focus on myself is my goal.
No, fantastic. Well, yes, the key issues be probably just the fear of change. And that's, again, as I've spoken to you about, normal. But the prioritising of yourself rather than James's priority of heroin, and moving kind of into that next stage of your life where you're settling down a little bit as well. Alright, so that's the understanding of that's quite clear. You think that's where kind of
I think that's where I need to be, is to just a little bit more care for myself. But still making sure I care for James.
No, absolutely. Okay, well, with the referral process, what we can organise as well is that if you'd like me to disclose anything to contact potentially a psychologist. If you prefer to have a bit of a longer, more often sort of sessions with someone, I'll still be the case manager for this, because what I can do is I can also contact James's drug counsellor as well, who you go to sessions with, and then if you two both go to those sessions post detox or while he's like preparing for that, then she can have a little bit, or he can have a little bit of an understanding of where you're at and what you need, and the fact that then it can be a conversation with James and yourself as well, if that's what you're comfortable with. Because if you haven't spoken too much about this with James, then it could be a nice way to break the ice, where it does shift that to prioritise you as well as him, and how although it will be a lot about his drug problems, it will still acknowledge how you're going to cope with it, and maybe just give them a little bit more of an understanding of how to deal with that. How are you feeling after talking about all of this today?
Yeah, I feel a sense of relief that I have gotten to speak to somebody about it. As I said, I don't usually really talk to anybody about it, so it's nice to have sat here and spoken to you about it today, and it feels nice, the nice things that you've said to me.
Oh, well, that's good, because I think that you have shown a lot of loyalty and a lot of patience, and I think that it is there are so many strengths in that sort of person, and I think you've done such a good job in being there for James, and obviously James is in a vulnerable position because he is trying to come off of heroin, and being able to support you through that he may not be at a stage where he can do that to the fullest extent, because he does have to focus on either staying clean or trying to get off the drugs, or it can be a very difficult imbalance to sort of confront. So I think that talking to him about this will be helpful, but I think that also talking to someone else will also be it will be beneficial to you to kind of have that reminder and that mindfulness that you are doing well, and that you are contributing in a really positive way to someone else, and you've shown so much support for him. With the supports you've got, do you have your family or anything? Do they know anything about this situation, I guess?
Yeah, so when James goes in for his detox, his intense, I'm going to go and see my family for a few days and just surround myself with some love from them, because it will be a worrying time for me. And do you think that maybe having a little more contact with them between maybe now and the next session might be beneficial for you, just in case you do start to feel like maybe James doesn't react as well as you'd like to you needing support, if you do want to talk to him about that at this stage. I think, do you think that should we maybe refer to a psychologist or something, so that you have a bit more of a consistent support system? Or I think that's a good idea.
Well, no worries. So what we can do,
I still get to see you.
We can definitely organise that. There will be always a way for you to contact me through the office, so that if you feel like if you can't get in with the psychologist and you just need to talk to someone, we can arrange an appointment, and we can kind of keep that in the case meeting plans as well. And then if there's anything else that we need to kind of involve in this process, you're one of my clients now, so I can absolutely organise to see you if you feel like you need to chat about the situation, because again, it's about supporting you in this situation and through this journey too. Well, what we'll do is we'll organise the confidentiality plan before you go, and again, I'd like to congratulate you for coming as far as you have in this situation, because it can be all relationships have difficulties as well, but when it's involving drugs, it can be very, very it can be a difficult process to sort of be a part of and to support without a lot of tension, especially if the other person isn't into drugs as well. So or especially even if they are, like, it's just relationships are difficult
Mm.
regardless of when that's involved. So when it
Yeah.
is, it can be that support system is definitely here for
Mhm.
you here
Yeah.
with us.
Mhm.
And yeah, so we do have a referral, and we can make another appointment if you'd
Mhm.
like. With the referral, see if you can get in, because we do have a psychologist here as
Mhm.
well, so you are welcome to organise a referral for here.
Mhm.
And then if you want to make an appointment with them within a fortnight, and then maybe another appointment we can make with us,
Mhm.
with you and I, in maybe 3 weeks or a month, just to
Mhm.
see how that went and how you're feeling. And when does James go into detox? Is that
Next weekend.
That's next
Yeah.
weekend, so that'll all
Mm.
kind of be happening,
Mm.
and it'll all kind
Yeah.
of be, the emotions may be a little bit full on at that
Mm.
stage as well.
Yeah.
So we can definitely organise soon to have another appointment
Yeah.
where, and if you can get in with a psychologist as well to have
Mhm.
another appointment with them,
Mhm.
then you will kind of be able to reap the benefits of getting all of that out of your system, and
Mhm.
kind of start maybe understanding how you can find your own support system
Mhm.
as well.
Yeah.
Alright. And how are you feeling at the end of the
Yeah.
session? You're all
Yeah.
good? Yeah?
Mhm.
You feel alright?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Well, if you need anything,
Mhm.
do call us.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much, if I'm not in the office,
Yeah.
then I can be contacted, and we
Okay.
can organise something if anything's going on.
Okay.
So that's
Thank you, Daisy.
not a problem. Alright,
Thank
so
you.
thank you very much for coming in today.
Thank you.
No worries.
Thank you. I'll see myself out. Thank you.
Take care, Natalie. I'll
Thank
talk to you
you.
soon, okay?